So good morning, everyone. We are going to get started now. I'd like to introduce myself. I am Diana Senwasain, the Marketing Program Specialist at PSG. I'd like to welcome you to our webinar on pharmaceutical data integrity. We are very excited to have Mr. Vikash Chatterjee speak about this topic today and answer any questions that you may have. Mr. Chatterjee is the President and Chief Science Officer for Pharmatech Associates in Hayward, California. He has more than 30 years of experience in the pharmaceutical, biosciences, medical device, diagnostics, and nutraceutical dietary supplement industries. So without further ado, I'd like to hand it off to Mr. Chatterjee to begin his presentation.
All right. Thank you, Diana. Let's see if I can put this in display mode. We should be all set here. Okay. Well, thank you. This is a very interesting topic, data integrity. In our industry, as you know, everything we do, really the foundation of how we determine efficacy, safety, compliance, traceability, all the elements that the public has come to expect and what we need to do as a business are predicated on our ability to have confidence in the data that we're using, as well as our ability to retrieve and understand and have confidence in the analyses we do with that particular data. So historically, it was quite easy for us to ensure that our data was good. We used lab notebooks, we had reports, we could do a forensic analysis looking at whether ink or anything had been erased, it had been changed. Pretty easy to understand if someone had adulterated or messed with our data. But today, the systems that we use for really every facet of our business are far more sophisticated. The global supply chains that we have created, spanning cultures, spanning continents, really dictate a whole new level of diligence to ensure that we're going to stay on top of the data that we know is so central to our business and our success. So here's our presentation for today. I'll take you through some of the key concepts and definitions of the words that we use for ensuring data integrity. This is kind of a hands-on practical session. We'll talk about the elements associated with establishing a DI strategy, and we're going to do a couple of case studies together, one sort of in a manufacturing environment, one in a laboratory environment. And we'll end with just a summation of some of the most recent regulatory actions that have been taking place. India came under very high level of scrutiny late in 2015 with quite a few companies going on import alert 66-40 import alert specifically because of data integrity issues. So this is an issue that is very important to the FDA and EU, and you'll see many regulatory agencies around the world have very specific regulatory guidances pertaining to data integrity and how we handle information. And so it's something that I think warrants some thoughtful consideration when it comes to creating your own strategy and tactical plan. All right, so let's get started. So data integrity, we're defining as the accuracy and consistency of the stored data indicated by an absence of any alteration in data between two updates of a data record. So we need to have confidence that the data that we are creating, that's being created, is unadulterated, and that when we go to use and retrieve that data, that the data has been unadulterated. It gets more complex as we look at that. We're going to talk about some of the key attributes that go with our ability to state that the data has been unadulterated. So data integrity is imposed within a system at its design stage, so at the earliest stages, whether we're in the laboratory and manufacturing, equipment, device design. We use the standard rules and procedures that have been put in place. There are excellent industry best practices to address these things, both through ISO, both through ISPE, so there, IEC. There's really quite a few elements when it comes to sort of trying to understand what it takes to ensure data. So we don't have to make this up from the get-go. We can tap into these sort of best practices when it comes to creating systems and for measuring, monitoring, and controlling these things. So it's not an